Like this part says, we just started out, headed up for Red Feather Lakes, just for the day drive. It was early in the morning. It's a beautiful day. We had had snow the day before. Most of it had melted, and it was just a nice, comfortable Saturday morning. This is about 8:30, 8:15-ish, and we're driving along, headed for Red Feather Lakes. We really didn't have much of an agenda. We thought we'd go up there, take a look at the lake, see if there's anything around, see how many people's up there, because the wind was pretty strong today. It was pretty strong. So we headed in. Luckily, the roads were melting good, and it was only like 20, 22 degrees, something like that. It wasn't very much. But as you can see here, the wind was pretty strong, blowing that across the road. It was sculpting the landscape with the snow, and everything was so smooth and nice. But yeah, the wind was really strong statewide today, this part of the state anyway. And here's part of Red Feather as we're passing on both sides. We'll go up here a little ways, and then we were going to turn around and come back. And we're going to go to the west part, which we are right here. And we're turning into Red Feather Lake Village, where they've got a nice little propane place, so if you need your propane filled. They got the little store on the left and the green building. Great little place, been there many times. Then you're coming up. The lodge will be right next to that. If you got to get away, this is a great place to stay. And then we got a little diner here. And no, none of these people sponsored this today. This is all on me. But I've been there many times. It's a great place to stay. It's a great getaway. It's quiet. You don't have to worry about sirens or people or shootings or anything like that. It's a nice little place up here. So we're headed down toward the lake. And again, the wind was just all over the place. Trees are snapping off. And when we saw the people out on the lake ice fishing, I thought, okay, somebody's got some layers on, because it's cold out there. At 22 degrees with a 20-degree wind, or a 20-mile-an-hour wind, I don't know what the wind chill factor is, but it was beyond my comprehension that I would be out there today. So I wasn't. So we come up here, and I turned the vehicle so you could see everybody out on the lake. There was a lot of people out there, a lot of huts. If you got a ice fishing hut, it's not so bad. Then you can have a little heater, you can stay warm in there, catch a bunch of fish, have a great time. And then you can see the wind blowing snow off that island out there in the center, or near the center, whatever you want to call it. So we didn't stay there too long. And the road goes down toward the end of the dam. You cannot drive around the lake. This is Dowdy Lake, by the way. So we thought we'd drive down as far as we could go, or nearly so. And of course, people in this parking lot don't know how to park. But I squeezed through there anyway. But we never really did make it down to the end of the lake. We had we saw a little something on the side, you'll see here in just a second, that I thought, yeah, we don't need to go any farther. This is good enough. And we ran into these deer. Now, the one that's in the front, closest to me, I think that one's pretty young. I don't think that one's very old. He or she, I'm not sure which, but that's a pretty young little deer. And we found 4 of them here, and then just a little bit further, I believe it was on the way out, we found these. Now at first you can only see 3, but in just a little bit you'll see all 4 heads in the background. Or pardon me, 3 heads in the background and that little buck up front. He was a healthy little buck, and his cheeks were just bulging with whatever he was eating, whatever that may be. So we thought, okay, we've seen some deer, we got some good shots. We were going to head up Pooter Canyon and see if we couldn't find, yep, that's my finger. I got it in front of the lens. Yep. This is how windy it was up on top, just over the top of Cameron Pass. We were headed for Gould. We were going to go look for some moose. We know a great spot down, so we decided to drive to Gould. Old. We got into Michigan Reservoir, and it was just as windy, if not as windier, down there. When we were looking for moose, there were moose tracks absolutely everywhere. There were deer tracks absolutely everywhere. We didn't see a single moose. I drove all the way back in there as far as I could, and on the way out, on the west side of Michigan Reservoir, there's a dam. And lo and behold, walking across the dam was this guy. He looked like he was nice and warm, and he was hungry, because he was looking all over the place for something. I don't think he ever found anything, because all he did was walk in the snow on us. And the snow on the side of that dam was at least a foot deep, but he didn't break through too often. But once in a while he would. But we don't get to see a fox like that very often, even though he was about 300 meters away. So we took a little extra video of him. And as you can see, he's breaking through a little bit. And then he started down the hill and toward the forest, which was maybe 50 meters in front of him. And he'd stop every once in a while and look at the snow, and then he'd keep walking, and there he kind of broke through. And then he just kept going towards the forest, and we watched him walk in. So we drove all the way back to 14, and we headed back toward Loveland, going east, and the wind picked up a little bit more. And here we come into this spot, and the wind really was hitting us hard there. I never get tired of watching this snow get blown over. But this is an area that you cannot stop or park because it's an avalanche danger. So this is around the mountain just a little bit more. We're headed back up. We're almost to the top of the pass, and the wind's still blowing. Now, if you look straight ahead and you see that ridge up there, straight ahead and just slightly to the left, people will hike up that with their skis just to ski down it themselves. There's no ski resort. There's no chairlift. The only way to the top is your 2 feet. Those people are pretty hardy souls, and something that I'd probably never attempt at my age. But it was still windy, and you can still see the snow getting knocked around. But it was just a really cool scene. It was 8 degrees at this point. So with the wind chill, yeah, I don't know. You tell me. But anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching.